Well, good morning. Good morning, everybody. How y'all doing? Figured I'd jump on here and see what y'all are up to. See if anybody has anything interesting to talk about this morning. I'm not liking the lighting though. I didn't turn on my lights. It's kind of fuzzy and hazy. That's the only thing I don't like. I'm thinking about getting a new camera. I'm thinking about getting like the best HD camera I can possibly get. This camera's pretty good. I just don't like it when the lighting is low. When the lighting's low, it looks fuzzy and not that good. This is just the stock camera that comes in this computer. This is a MacBook Air 13.3 or whatever. This guy, I mean, it's a okay camera. It's not bad. I can do my job with it, but I want one of them. I want one of them sharp, crystal clear HD cameras. I'm thinking about doing that. Thinking about it. Not for Christmas though. Not for Christmas. We done spent plenty of money on Christmas. I am gonna. Oh, what's up, y'all? Thanks for tuning in. I am gonna step aside here in just a second and get a little bit more light in the room. Hold on, y'all. Hold it there. There we go. There we go. Oops. Hang on. Bear with me. There we go. Okay. That's better. There we go. Now it's more clear. You see what I'm saying? It's weird how it's more clear when you get more light. I got my ring light on. I need one of them big ring lights. Now here. Listen to me. Listen to what I'm doing, man. Here I am complaining. Got to cut that out. Error thought. Error thought. No complaining. Error thought. That's my Virgo coming out first thing in the morning. I don't like how this functions. This needs to function more efficiently. I need a bigger this. And no. Okay. Error thought. My bad. I caught myself. What's up, y'all? How y'all doing? Oh, hang on. Got a bunch of shit in my pockets. Anyway, what's up, y'all? Give you a good starting point in law of attraction. Man, okay. It depends on where you are and what you're wanting, Paulette. It depends on where you are and what you're wanting. Because oh yeah, and today I got to I'm going to make a video on my main channel today about what manifestation is. Okay. But it's something to the effect of the point that I want to make on a video for my main YouTube channel is that the word manifestation, I think we need I think we need to rename that, if that makes sense in a way, because it gives us the idea that it's this special magic trick that we start doing, you know, and it's not. The word manifestation is just a long word, a big word for result. That's what manifestation means. It means result. It's a byproduct. Okay. A byproduct of what? A byproduct of your frequency. Does that make sense? That's all manifestation is. Everything that you are currently experiencing in your life is a manifestation of your frequency. I like the way Bob Proctor explained it. Well, he calls it attraction, which that's the same thing, but manifestation and attraction, that's the secondary law. Vibration is the primary law. I vibrate at this frequency, therefore this is what I manifest into my life. See what I'm saying? So it really depends on what it is that you want and where you're at, if that makes sense. Me, obviously, the very first thing that I ever set out to learn how to improve was my finances, like many people. Like many people. You learn on the path that everything manifests the same way, everything manifests on the same base principles. But yeah, if it's your finances, I think that's the hardest one personally, because it's the same as manifesting your life partner, only When you're manifesting love, the difference is the universe brings that person to you, basically. You don't really have to do too much. As a matter of fact, the more you do, the more you get in the way when it comes to manifesting your life partner. The more you do, the more you look for them, the more you sit around and wait on them and trying to find them, you're getting in your own way doing that. The universe will bring them to you if you get out of the way. With money and finances, though, on the other hand, it's quite the opposite. It's the mirror image reflection of that. You have to start taking action and start doing things first before the universe can start responding in different ways and intervene and start guiding you in the right direction. You dig what I'm saying? Makes sense? So really, again, it depends on what your goals are, where it is that if it's finances, I tell everybody the same thing. Start doing it. Just start doing it. Pick a path and say, well, I'm just going to pick the next path that's made available to me. Or just go on to Google yourself. Like I said that one time. And I said it last night on one of my reading videos at the end. I forget which one it was, but go to Google and type in how to start an online business. Click and start doing it. Okay. You have to start taking action in that direction. And then the universe sees what you want. Okay. And that's how you start carving out the path to eventually manifesting finances. Now, does that mean that one online business is going to be the end all be all that makes you a millionaire? Not necessarily. Actually, probably not. Probably not. I don't want to discourage you because it is possible. It's very possible. It's very possible. You could go to Google, type in how to start an online business, start researching, build your business, and then bam, you're financially set for life. It's possible. It is possible. I'm not saying it's not. Very frequently, though, very, very frequently, that's not possible. I'm sorry. It's not, very frequently, that's not what happens. Okay. Because first of all, we're not on that frequency yet of financial abundance, but we got to start somewhere, we got to start somewhere. And it's all about changing the mindset as well. It's all about changing the mindset. Remember, manifestation means result. Okay. Manifestation means result, a result of my frequency. If I'm on the frequency of wanting more money and needing more money and being stressed and worried about my finances, and that's my frequency, what manifests as a result of that is needing to worry about money and more situations and more things that complement worrying about my money and worrying about finances. Does that make sense? I'm giving you the simple, easy. It does get a lot deeper than this, but that's the simple, easy explanation. Same thing with love and romance. If I'm on the frequency of emptiness, loneliness, heartache, and sadness, then what's going to manifest as a result of that are more things that complement that frequency of emptiness, loneliness, sadness, and heartache. A lot of people don't attract anybody into their life at all when they're on the frequency of loneliness. But even those people who do kick that door in and try to force people into their life, it's a real lonely, empty connection. You'll attract somebody who's very emotionally unavailable, or somebody who's really confusing. Their words don't match with their actions, and I'm wondering, why is this happening to me? Because you came together with this person on the frequency of loneliness. See what I'm saying? Because it's not, the manifestation will not fix the problem. The manifestation is a result of the problem. The problem is my frequency. The problem is I'm lonely. A relationship won't fix my loneliness. See what I'm saying? I keep attracting empty relationships into my life because I'm on the frequency of loneliness. That makes sense? The primary law is my frequency. So what is it that I'm really wanting? It's not a relationship. What I'm wanting is to not be lonely. That's what I'm wanting. That's what I'm wanting. I have to make that decision to not be lonely first. And then my life partner shows up. See what I'm saying? Does that make sense? Then I feel that void in my heart first, and then my life partner shows up because they match that frequency. Does that make sense? It really depends. Again, I'm just giving you the rough, simple, easy version that's very, very easy. It does get much deeper than this. It does get much like with Coach Drew, for example. I've been side by side with him, helping coach him throughout his manifestation journey for at least his finances. And it's very, very different when you're side by side with somebody and you can coach them through, when you're a part of their life. That's different because that's every little gym session that we have is like a coaching session. He coaches me and I coach him, you know, and I've been making a lot of progress in my fitness and he's been making a lot of progress in his finances, and I'm able to teach him the little tips and tricks. And this is the same thing with anybody, same thing with anybody. Here soon, this is going to be so common sense. It's going to be so mainstream. I have a feeling before 2030, it's going to be so mainstream common sense that why are we even talking about it? Duh. You know what I mean? Yeah, I do the best I can to make it make sense. I try to be that voice that I wanted when I was on my path. I try to be that voice because I would spend so many hours watching YouTube videos and doing research and attending classes and courses, hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. I was obsessively obsessed with it for so many years, and I would get frustrated and pissed off because it's like there's something missing in here. There's something missing that you're not telling me. And it took me several years to figure out what it was. And it's not really something that you can just explain very quickly. So that's why I take it upon myself to do the best I can to explain it the way that I do, We'll get it because here's what's going to happen. There's going to be somebody who hears what I say and then they take it, they go transform their life, and then they're going to do the same thing I'm doing. And they're going to find an easier way to explain it than I did. And they're going to do the same thing I'm doing. And they're going to teach a bunch of people. And then it's going to be like a ripple effect, and they're going to explain it better than I did. And then the same thing's going to happen to them. They're going to teach somebody who will figure it out and explain it easier than they did. And then our consciousness is going to grow and expand with every ripple in the pond. You see what I'm saying, man? Makes sense. That's what I want to do. That's what I want to do. Yeah, it actually is pretty short and easy. It actually is very short and easy. Whenever it clicks, whenever you figure it out and it makes sense, you realize it is so short, easy, and simple. What's complicated, the complicated part is the brainwashing we've been subjected to for so many decades. That's the complicated part. Is our belief systems and our own thoughts, feelings, and beliefs overcomplicated big time, and getting those out of the way, unwiring those. That's the complicated part. The rest of it is super simple. You don't want to need to worry about money? Stop worrying about money. That's how simple it is. But we have all these deep ingrained belief systems, and man, I have all these habits. Every time I go to the store, I'm obsessing over my money and I'm constantly doing all this math. I only made this much this week. I'm only making this much next week. This is all I had to spend. And that's reverse manifesting right there. Undoing that in tandem with walking the path towards a new financial future sounds really hard and complicated. And while you're still undoing your mindset, it is. But then once you successfully unwire all those old programs in your own mind, it's super simple. Simple. I want to, attract a relationship that is fulfilling and aligns with my highest good and my life partner. Okay. We'll form that relationship in your heart first. Everything that happens inside manifests out here. Everything. If I have a good relationship in my heart, I'm not going to feel the desperate need to find one out here. Not really. That's one of the first things that happens when you start to fill that void in your heart. And most people do it by accident. But those few of you who have done that, you realize the first thing that happens is you start saying to yourself, I don't need it that bad. Nope, don't need it that bad. I'm not that desperate. I'm actually much happier. I would much rather spend my life totally alone than go through that again. No, you know what? I've been through that. I've played that game. I've done heard every lie. I've heard every game that's been played. I've been used, abused, cheated on. Some people even beat on. I've experienced that so much. You know what? I don't need it that bad. Don't need it that bad. Nope. Sorry. I would rather spend the rest of my life completely alone than even take the chance of going through that again. And the minute you start thinking like that, watch how attractive you become. hmm Now watch how attractive you are. When you're unavailable, now watch how attractive you are. It's like a sixth sense. It's a sixth sense. You said to yourself, how come everybody I'm interested in is never interested in me? I'm always the one who's more interested. I know you've said that before. I'm always the one that falls and they're not very interested in me. And the only people who are really interested in me are the ones that I'm not really into. I know you said that. I know you've stopped for at least a minute and pondered why that always seems to happen. Because we are always more drawn to what feels energetically out of reach. So when you're energetically out of everybody's reach, how attractive do you think that's going to make you? It's a sixth sense. You can't fake it. You can't fake it. It's energy. Everybody can pick up on that energy. Even the most spiritually asleep people on the planet can still pick up on energy. They just don't know what in the hell they're doing. They're just not aware of it. We're all energetic beings that can pick up on each other's energy. And you can walk into a crowded building when you're unavailable and you're happy with yourself and you're content with yourself and your life, you reek of unavailability. Everybody can tell that you're so out of reach, and not just sexually, not just romantically. You might notice weird, random strangers striking up conversation with you, like the cashier at the store, standing in line at the gas station to pay for your gas, 3, 4 people in front of you. And then all of a sudden you get up there and for some weird, odd reason, the cashier strikes up small talk with you and starts asking you about your day. And you're like, looking around like, why are you talking to me like this? Why are you striking up small talk with me? You didn't strike up conversation with any other person in here. You're pulling your energy away. Whatever I try to avoid seems to find me everywhere I go, doesn't it? See what I'm saying? Whatever I'm energetically pursuing is going to run from me. Whatever I energetically try to avoid is going to follow me. That's a switch you can flip. And once you gain access to that little switch and you learn, it takes time. It took me a couple of years. I'm still practicing it and playing with it. I'm still playing with it and practicing it. How do I take this thing that I want really badly and flip the switch and stop wanting it? How do I trick myself to do that? I got to go inside and start playing with my own thoughts. I got to start playing with my own mind. I have to start experimenting with my own perception. And then as soon as I figure it out, it's like feeling around for a light switch. As soon as I find that switch and flip it off, I don't want that anymore. Never mind. I changed my mind. No, I changed my mind. I don't want that anymore. It does not sound like fun. No, don't want it. Now it's chasing me. I know you've noticed that at least once too. It used to piss me off when I was younger. When I was like 15, 16, when I was a teenager, I used to get so mad about that. And I used to sit around and ask myself, why do I always get what I want after I stop wanting it? I thought I had bad luck. I just thought I was cursed or something. I was like, man, that's some bullshit. I don't want it anymore. All this time I spent wanting this so badly, now I can have it and I don't want it. I thought I had bad luck. I had no idea. I didn't know anything about energy behavior, frequency. That was all, a foreign concept. That's a euphemism for how little I knew back then, So anyway, yeah, you got to trick yourself. Yeah, you got to trick yourself. You got to be careful with that too. You got to be careful with lying to yourself. But yes, it is a form of lying to yourself. Okay. Put that right there. Whenever you're going to start doing that, this is very important. This is when you have to get in touch with your own intentions. Because when it comes to lying to yourself, your intention has to be very, very bang on the money. Okay. Because if you're lying to yourself with the intention of ignoring reality, that's not good. It's not good. I'm lying to myself to ignore and run from the truth. That's not good. But if my intention is to lie to myself to change reality, that's a totally different thing. You have to be very in touch with your intentions. That's why intention is so, so important. So important. What is my intention? Why am I lying to myself? Because I don't like this reality. Okay. So, what is it you're trying to do? Trying to ignore and run from reality? Or are you trying to change this reality? Does that make sense? That's why that whole phrase, that fake it till you make it is a very controversial phrase. Very controversial phrase. You know, some people strongly disagree with that, other people strongly agree with that. And I will take the stance of it depends on your intention. Depends on your intention. If you're faking it with the intention of misleading people from the truth, if you're faking it with the intention of misleading yourself from the truth, then that's a problem. Then that's a problem. But if you're faking it until you make it with the intention of creating a new truth, then that's the line. That's the line of duality. You see what I'm saying? Makes sense? Mm-hmm. Oh, every last one of you is going to figure it out. Every last one of you is going to figure it out. Every last one of you. Yep. I think I got a lot of light workers that watch me. You know, I think I got a lot of them. And everybody has a different assignment. Everybody has a different assignment. Everybody does it differently. And see, the cool thing about it is I posted on this channel, you probably have to scroll way down, but I posted that interview that I did with Naya right before I started reading tarot on YouTube, you know, and they were asking me, one of them, either Naya or G-Man, I forget who, said, so what direction do you think you're going to take your YouTube channel in? And I was embarrassed. I didn't even want to say it. I was like, I'm going to start reading tarot cards, you know. I was basically said, I cannot ignore the intuitive calling and the nudge to read tarot cards. I don't know why it's overtaken my mind. I can't get it to shut up. So I'm going to go ahead and do it just to suffice this itch that I have, you know? And Naya said something to the effect of, it doesn't matter what you do. You're balancing the divine masculine and divine feminine energies, or something to that effect. I forget how she worded it. But that's the thing with any, she called them star seeds. I just like the term light worker. You know, star seeds pretty cool too. But any volunteer that's here for the assignment of assisting in the shift from the old to the new, it doesn't really matter what you do or how you do it. Not really. Standing with your feet on the ground. Standing with your feet on the ground is good enough. How many light workers do you think are in prison? Mm-hmm. How many people do you think are sitting in prison for crimes they didn't commit? And why do you think they're in there? Think about it. Think about it. How do you think the universe put them in that position? So they could take their frequency to some of the lowest, densest, darkest places. They're light workers everywhere. Everywhere. In prison systems and rehab facilities, on the streets and homeless shelters, in the lowest frequency places that you can find on this planet, you'll find light workers because they're carrying that frequency. And it doesn't really matter what they do. Doesn't matter what they do. That homeless bum standing on the side of the street, you know, here in Las Vegas, whoo, you go to North Las Vegas, there's some areas where there's a whole street like bums with their tents lined up down the sidewalk. You know, how many of them do you think are light workers? How many light workers do you think are mixed in there? Carrying their frequency to some of the lowest places because we're raising up out of that. See what I'm saying? Makes sense? Yeah, I guarantee you. You talk to Naya, Jackie, I guarantee it. Now, the universe drug my ass all over the place, man. All over the place. Man, you name a state, there's only like I think 4 or 5 states that I've never been to. But my frequency has touched this whole fucking country damn near. I brought my, you know, and I could tell that's what, because like I know I always use this phrase, but when I took my hands off the wheel, that's the phrase that I use. You all know this. When I took my hands off the wheel and let universe take the wheel, the universe had me going all over the place, east to west, north to south, to east to west, all over the place. Universe had the wheel. I'm like, hey, I'll put my foot on the gas. You take the wheel. That's the thing, you know? And yeah, wherever your frequency is, it's needed there. For some reason, I'm guessing my frequency is needed here in Vegas. I'm guessing it's needed here in Vegas. Now, I'm not saying I'm the only light worker here in Vegas. I guarantee you there's a fucking shit ton of them. Hopefully, at least 500,000 to a million. You know, I know I'm not the only one, but if you think about low dense frequencies, Vegas is a very low frequency fucking city, man. I'm gonna tell you what. I mean, you can have a lot of fun, you know, in a way. It depends on how you define high freak. But you go downtown, everybody's piss face wasted. You know, you see half naked women walking around and fucking, you know, everybody's drunk and partying and gambling and losing all their money. And at the end of the day, it's really not a very high frequency place down there. It's a very low frequency fucking environment down there. Very low frequency. And it's incredibly fucking draining, you know, going down there. Very incredibly draining. But I don't fight it. Whenever the universe leads me down there, I'm like, okay, I got to go spread my energy around that low frequency shit, you know? Yep. We got a friend that moved here to Vegas. Yeah. Yeah, it's one of them places, man. I bet you this is one of them cities where there's probably a lot. There's probably a lot of light workers here, definitely, you know? And like I said, man, it doesn't matter what you do. You ain't got to do nothing. All you got to do is stand on the ground. That's all you got to do. But no matter what you decide to do, you are balancing those energies and you are bringing that new frequency to whatever it is that you're doing, you know, to whatever it is that you're doing. You're energetically affecting everybody that you come in contact with, you know. You walk into the mall, okay, you're affecting the energy of every single person in that whole mall, whether you realize it or not, you know. Pretty cool, man. Pretty cool. Oh, the Grand Canyon was badass. Patty Anderson. Grand Canyon was badass, man. That's what we did for her birthday yesterday. We had all that planned on her birthday, but they canceled the flight due to bad weather. So we had to go on the flight yesterday, and they even upgraded it. They called us and said, if you want, we'll upgrade you for free, where you have an hour landing. Fly out to the Grand Canyon and land so that you can walk around for an hour and look around and whatnot. And they upgraded us that for free. It was at the Skywalk. If y'all ever been to the Skywalk where they got that clear walkway that goes out over the Grand Canyon, we already did that a couple years ago. So we didn't do that, but we did go walk around. And I bought this shirt. Matter of fact, I got this shirt, got this coffee cup, got a couple little trinkets. Look at that. Isn't that cool? That's a badass coffee mug right there, man. Arizona. I went to the gift shop and got a couple of little trinkets and whatnot, but it was badass, dude. We flew in the Grand Canyon. I had the picture in my mind was that we were going to be flying over it, looking down at it. We were in it, dude. We were in it in that helicopter. You looking around, we were in the Grand Canyon, looking around, like flying straight through in a helicopter. I'm like, oh shit, this is badass, man. The Grand Canyon is always a place that has it's always been very special to me because when I was a kid, it wasn't, I was raised pretty nice, pretty decent, very, very decent by my grandparents. And they loved taking vacations once, sometimes twice a year. And their favorite vacation destination was Florida. Most people on the East Coast of the United States, that's the vacation destination, is Florida. So we would go to Florida once a year, you know, for spring break. And we didn't do anything wild and crazy. They're old people. So we would just go to Fort Myers Beach, you know, a little teeny little beach where it's real quiet and there's nothing going on. But we would go stay in Florida for a week. And Gatlinburg, Tennessee was another one of their favorite little tourist destinations. And we would do that, you know. But then they had been planning, they had been talking for years about going to the Grand Canyon, you know. And that was just this big thing that they always wanted to do. Both my grandparents said, I want to see the Grand Canyon before I die, you know? So in the summer of 1999, summer of 1999. My grandparents, me, and my sister drove to the Grand Canyon from New Albany, Indiana, in their little old Oldsmobile Cutlass Sierra. We drove across the country, and that was the longest trip that I had ever been on. And we didn't go to the Skywalk. We went to the other one. But I'll never forget standing there on the edge of the Grand Canyon. My grandpa put his arm around me and he said, "I want you to make me a promise." He said, "I want you to promise me that when you grow up and you have kids, you'll bring them here so they can see this." And I said, "Okay, I promise." And I never forgot about that. Like, I never, ever forgot about that. That weighed so heavily on my heart my whole life for some reason. And that last Father's Day, Leah arranged it so that we could take the kids to go see it. So I don't know. It's just always been a real special place, to me. Just always been a real special place to me. So to be able to arrange flying through the Grand Canyon in a helicopter was badass, dude. I have to say, I was talking to her yesterday about how it kind of seems like after a while when you end up manifesting your life of abundance and freedom and whatnot, it kind of seems like I'm worried about topping out, of doing everything, experiencing everything that there is to experience and doing everything that there is to do. I'm kind of scared about that. I'm kind of nervous. What's going to happen when we get to a point to where we say, okay, we've pretty much done it all? I mean, I don't think you can do it all in one life. But when it gets to the point to where there's nothing left to do that's any cooler than what we've already done. But I would have to mark that on the top of the list of the fucking most badass things that we've ever done was fly through the Grand Canyon in a helicopter. That was awesome, dude. That was cool as shit, man. That was cool as hell, dude. I didn't really expect it to be all that interesting because we did a helicopter tour over the Vegas Strip for our 1-year anniversary. Or was that our 2-year? It was our 1 year. We did we just did a little flight over the Strip and back around, and that was cool. It was neat. It was pretty, but I didn't really expect much for this Grand Canyon trip, but it was cool. It was a big long flight too. Big old long flight. It was fun. I think it was close to about an hour there and about an hour flight to get there. We took off here in Vegas and flew all the way. And there was a little tour. It was a lady flying the helicopter. She was cool as hell. We had our headsets on and she was like saying, "Okay, well, this right here is whatever." She gave us a tour of like some of the different mountains and the history and the different lakes that we flew over and shit. And then when we got to the Grand Canyon, we went up over the ledge and then dipped down in it. We were flying in it. And it was so fucking cool, dude. Anyway, yeah. It was awesome. So it was a neat experience. I have zero regrets, man. That's what I've always said, man. That when I was younger, when I was in my 20s, I would always love talking to old people, and I would always talk to old people and listen to their stories. And they always had the coolest stories. And for some reason, every time I would talk to an old person or an older person, they had all these different experiences and all these places that they had been. It would send this shockwave of fear through my heart. and I think I could tell that what I was trying to do when I was in my early 20s, I was trying to get married and settle down, with my family and be the good father that I was supposed to be. But if I do that now, I'm never going to experience anything in life. So it would always send this shockwave of fear through my heart that I might not get to experience anything in life. I don't want to be one of those old people who does nothing that has nothing to talk about but their glory days. And, they kicked around the same 6 blocks their whole life. Never left the town that they lived in, never met anybody new, never saw anything. I don't want to be like that. When I'm old, when my life is like winding down and coming to an end, I want to look back and say, that was a badass story I experienced and I did all kinds of shit, I don't want to be like, well, I stayed safe and I kept a big old lump of money in the bank and it's still sitting in there and I stayed safe. I didn't do nothing with it. I stayed in my little safe bubble and I kept a big old lump of money in the bank, and I just sat here in my little safe bubble my whole life. And I ain't met nobody. I ain't been nowhere. I've been staying safe. Fuck that, man. Fuck that. Fuck that. No, I don't. That's just me, though. That's just me. To each their own. Anybody who's living like that, I'm not saying that you're doing it wrong. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I don't want to live that. That's not what I want for my life. You know what I mean? That's not what I want. I don't want to live like that. I want to be able to experience everything that there is to experience, you know? And here at 33, I'm very satisfied. Very, very satisfied, you know? So anyway, yeah, is that an air sign thing, you think? I don't know. Is it? It might be. I don't know because I haven't met too many earth signs that like to live like that, you know? I know this dude. Remember the job that I told you all about where I would clean airplanes when I worked at the UPS World Hub, and I used to clean their planes. And we ended up becoming real good friends, and then we fell out. And I think he was a Taurus. He was a Taurus, and I think he's still holding a grudge against me after fucking 5-6 years. I think he is, but I look back, and this dude. He's a Taurus, keep in mind. He has been living the same routine for 20 years. The same routine. The same routine. Working the same job. The same routine for 20 years. I'm like, fucking Christ almighty. Just thinking about that makes me want to bash my head against the wall. I like routines and whatnot, but I got to change it up after a while. I'll sink into a comfortable little routine and then I'll change things up, even if it's just one little thing, you know? I don't know, man. So, what Taurus is not your favorite sign? Yeah, man, they can, hey, that's a hell of a sign to have on your side. That's a hell of a sign to have on your side because they can tend to be some of the most loyal ass people. But yeah, if you're looking for an outgoing, adventurous, fun friend, and yeah, Taurus. I don't know. I've never had a Taurus friend that's real fun, spontaneous, and adventurous, and is willing to take risks and whatnot. I never have. I don't know. I don't know. But anywho, yeah, that's just me in general. That's just me in general. I like randomness, man, spontaneousness. That's why me and Leah go so good together. She a Saggy. She's very over the top. Very over the top. Sometimes she can sometimes even be a little too spontaneous for me sometimes, you know. But that's the best way to live, in my opinion, you know. That's how I feel about it. Mm-hmm. Anyway. Anywho. Yep, yeah. Sagittarius is the opposite of Gemini. Yep. Mirror image reflection. Mirror image reflection. Think about it. Think about it. Gemini will tell you everything that you want to hear. Sagittarius will tell you everything you don't want to hear. Think about that. Think about that. Think about that. Geminis know how to tell you everything you want to hear. And Sagittarius will tell you everything you don't want to hear. And I got both of them. My daughter's a Gemini and Leah's a Saggy. You know, my oldest daughter's a little Aquarius with an Aries moon. A little Aquarius with an Aries moon. Man, she's just her own fire and air mixture, you know. Anyway, though, we got a pretty good energetic dynamic balance here in the household. Pretty good energy dynamics, I think. I think so. I don't know that well, one of my favorite people in the truth community is a Gemini, but that's still a sign that I'm struggling with a little bit. Still a sign I'm struggling with a little bit, you know. I'm observing my daughter more, you know, because she's a double Gemini, sun and moon. Sun and moon. And I'm just going to tell you what my experience is, okay? And this is just my experience. And I don't want to offend anybody or anything, but I'm going to tell you my experience and the struggles that I have. My experience personally in my personal life with Geminis is they seem to just open their mouth and noise comes out that's meaningless. That's it. They just open their mouth and they just make noise at you. And there's no meaning behind what they say. There's no truth sometimes behind what they say. They just open their mouth, noise falls out, and then that's it. And there is no meaning to it. They say one thing and then go do something completely different. They'll say one thing to my face and then turn around and go say something totally fucking different that completely contradicts it to the next person. Like, like, did what you just said to me mean anything? Did that even mean anything? Like, you just make noise at me is all you do. You just open your mouth and make noise. That's the experience that I've had. Now, again, I'm not saying that to offend Geminis. I'm not saying that that's how all Geminis are. That's just the struggle that I'm having. I'm having to really, anytime I know of somebody that is a Gemini, I'll study them. I'm studying and I'm trying to crack the code. Why is it that I'm struggling with that? Why? Maybe it's me. Maybe I take things too personally. Maybe the problem's within me. Maybe it's my issue. Why is it that because I'm the type of person that when I say something to you, I would rather be quiet. I will be totally silent before I open up and start talking about something that I don't know about, or if I don't know, I'm not going to make something up. Like if you ask me a question and I don't know, I will more than likely 90% of the time straight up tell you, I don't know. I have no idea. I will not just make something up just to talk. I'm very, very particular about what comes out of my mouth. I'm not a big fan of tossing around random little ideas that I don't know about. I'm not a big fan of that. Like I'll sit and the concepts that come out of my mouth have been sitting in my head going through a process for a long, 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 long time. And that's one of the main reasons why in real life, any of you ever get the chance to meet me in real life, I'm quiet. It always throws people. Whenever they meet me in real life. Like, man, you're so quiet. I figured you'd be a lot more talkative than this because you're so talkative on camera. You're so on YouTube, you're so outgoing. And that's because with being on camera, you have to hold the audience's attention. So I'll put myself into a flow state. I'll go into a flow state like right now, or when I'm reading tarot cards, because, you don't want this big, long period of boring silence because then people get uninterested and then they just click off. If you want to hold the audience's attention, you got to keep it going. But when I'm not on camera, I'm not that social, especially out in public, I'm quiet. I know it's happened many, many times. You'll see. If you ever see me in real life, you ever catch me running around down here Vegas somewhere. If you was to see me and Leah walking around somewhere, I'm gonna tell you right now. Like, let's say you saw me and Leah walking around. If you walked up to us and didn't say that you were a subscriber, which I have a feeling a lot of people do this anyway, and you was to walk up to us and start talking, and I didn't know that you were a subscriber, I didn't know that you follow my work, you'd be talking to Leah. I would back off. I back off and I just kind of let Leah talk and I don't that's what you would see happen. You wouldn't really get much out of me. Now, if you came up and you say, "Hey, I've been following you and I love your work," that's totally different. And I'll be friendly with you and I'll cut it up with you and whatnot. And even though I'm still working on that, but just randomly, if we're ever walking around, you catch us walking through a casino or walking down the strip or something like that, and you walk up and you start talking to us, and I don't know who you are, you'll be talking to Leah. Oh, she's the most friendly ass, bubbly, talk to a stranger person you ever met in your life. She never meets a stranger. You'll be talking to Leah. Y'all just be sitting there cutting it up, having a conversation. And here I am. I'm backing away. I'm all quiet. I'm all quiet, dude. That's my thing. But anyway, we kind of trailed off. We were talking about Geminis. Yeah, that's the struggle that I've been having. But like I said, one of my favorite truthers in the truth community is a Gemini, and of course, you don't know anybody from watching video content on the internet. Like that's a very, very, very strong rule. Don't ever assume that you know a person by what they put on the internet, but that's all that I have to go on with this person. And I have been observing at least with his online presence, that it's pretty like solid, pretty solid, very, very solid. And very, I'm like, if that's how you are in real life, you might very well be the very first Gemini that I've ever come across that maybe what it is he's figured out how to master that energy. You know, he may have figured out how to master Gemini energy. Of course, he has a Scorpio moon too, though. So Scorpio's a pretty solid sign, you know. But anyway, I don't know where I'm going with this. Oh, yeah, I'm working on my friendliness. I'm working on it. I'm still not as good at it as I want to be. You know, I'm still not as good at it as I want to be. When I do the best that I can to avoid random conversations with random people that I don't know, you know, I do the best I can to avoid that. I'm working on it. It's just, to me, I can't just randomly feel a connection with any random person that talks to me. I just can't, you know, I just can't feel a random connection with any random person that talks to me, because most of the time I see straight through it. That's the thing. I feel like I just see right straight through it. Like, that's not you. That's not you. Why are you bringing that fake ass bullshit to me right now? That ain't you. You know, what I can now, there is on the rare occasion, though, rarely, if you're bringing your true authentic self to the table, which most people don't do. Most people do not do, you know, but I can see it. I can see it when you do. If you're a random stranger and I end up in a situation where we're talking or having a conversation and you're being authentic, I can feel that. I can feel that. And it's much easier for me to connect with you, you know? But most people, the cashier at the gas station, the random person standing in front of you in line, they put this fakeness on. And if you're bringing some fake ass bullshit, man, go on. I don't know. I'm not going to interact with that. No, I'll be quiet before I'm fake. You know what I mean? I suck at that, man. I'm not a good actor. I will be dead quiet. I will not pretend to like you if I don't like you. That's another thing about me. If I don't like you, I will not pretend that I like you. I'll be quiet. I won't be rude to you. I'll be quiet and I'll try to avoid you. You know what I mean? But I've just always sucked at being fake, man. I've always sucked at it. I'm no good at it. I'm no good at it, man. And I've seen some people who are so good at it. And it's kind of made me a little bit envious, you know? Like, man, how do you bullshit like that? And you do it so good. You know, you do it so good. That bullshit ass personality, blowing smoke up people's asses. How do you do that? I just have never been good at that, man. Never been good at that. Never been good at that. The only thing that I can do is put myself into a flow state here on camera. That's the only thing I can really do. It's kind of open up the flow, you know? And it's not really fake. I mean, this is me. I'm just flowing. It's a flow state, you know? And I'm in here in a room alone by myself. I'm can't think of, I'm not going to say it's impossible, but I can't think of any time where it would be necessary to turn on the flow state in public, you know? Because when I'm in public, when I'm really around people, I'm observing. I'm not analyzing. I'm observing. That makes sense? I'm not analyzing and judging. I'm just observing. I'm in observation mode. I don't know. That could just be because I'm an airhead. I have no idea, dude. No idea. But anyway. Well, you might want to take into consideration. Remember, this is very important to remember. Virgo Earth, this is very important to remember. You attract what vibrates at the same frequency that you do. This can be one of the hardest things, one of the hardest pills to swallow on the whole path. Okay? Anytime, just play with this. I'd like to invite you to play with this. When you attract broken people into your life, switch the perspective around just a little bit. And just ask yourself, what about my frequency attracted this person? Now, I'm not saying that maybe there's not some type of soul contract where you, but I really strongly disagree when people say when you're a healer, you attract broken people. No, no, that's not quite the way that it works. Now that doesn't mean that there might not be a soul contract where you were to help that person heal, but you can't attract anybody into your life, period, unless they vibrate at the same frequency that you do. See what I'm saying? You know, again, maybe there was a soul contract where you agreed to attract this person into your life so that you could help them. That could be. I'm not saying that that's not. But if you are completely, if you're glowing and floating on a cloud and you're this perfect little angel, and you're not going to attract broken people. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. And I've been helping Coach Drew with this too. I've been helping Coach Drew with this. That if you ever want to get a good idea of what frequency you're on, take a look around. Take a look around. Just take a look around. No judgment. I'm not saying good frequency, bad frequency. It doesn't make you a good person or a bad person. Just take a look around. Look at the people closest to you, the people who are the closest to you in your life, and just simply ask yourself. Now the answer you get can be uncomfortable. I remember that. It's always an uncomfortable answer. But anytime I attract any kind of broken or fucked up type of person into my life, yes, I obviously want to help them or heal them or whatever. However, the immutable law of vibration and attraction states that this person can't even make their way into my life unless we vibrate at the same frequency, unless our vibrations complement each other. So then that puts me in one hell of a psychological conundrum where I say, okay, yeah, I see the issue here. I see where I could help you and I can't fix you. I can't fix you and I can't heal you. That period. I can't do that. Nobody can fix or heal another person. The only thing that any healer can do is trigger something within you in which you heal yourself, But I can't help but ask myself, what about my frequency drew you in here? Because even if there is a soul contract where I was supposed to help heal you, you can't make your way into my life unless we vibrate at the same frequency. See what I'm saying? So that's a very, very helpful way of looking at it. And yes, when you ask that question, you don't have to say nothing to nobody, but when you ask, okay, universe, what about my frequency attracted this person? It's usually an uncomfortable answer. I'll give you a perfect example. I'll tell you one of mine. I always found myself surrounded by, now I'm being serious here. I found myself surrounded by stupid people. And when I say stupid people, I don't just mean annoying people that do dumb things. I'm talking about, I kept attracting people into my life that were seriously, severely, mentally behind, not in a mean way. I'm not saying that in a mean, condescending, judgy way. I'm talking like, have you ever met like a 35-year-old with the mentality of an 11-year-old kid? Like there's legit something wrong with them. Like, not to be mean, not to, you ever met like a man child, like you're 35, 40, you still live at home with your mommy and you're mentally, like some of the people that have even been professionally diagnosed as mentally 10 years old, like a serious mental problem. And I kept attracting those people into my life. It didn't matter where I moved, didn't matter what job I was working at. I would always end up really, really close to like a 35-year-old with the mentality of a 10-year-old. And it would piss me off so fucking bad. And I finally started asking myself, okay, universe, why do you keep bringing these people to me? And you know what the answer was? Because all you do is complain about how stupid everybody is. And I did. All I did was complain about how stupid people were. So all I was focusing on was stupid people. So the universe says, oh, okay, stupid people. Okay, here's some more. Here's some more stupid people. And I would cast those frequencies so intensely. So I would cast such intense frequencies of bitching and complaining about stupid people that the universe started sending me people who had serious problems with their brain, you know, because that was all I would focus on. All I would focus on and all I would bitch about and all I would complain about was how stupid people were. So the universe started sending me seriously stupid people, people who can't even help it. They can't help it. They can't even, like, they have a problem with their brain, and I was like, oh, wow. Whoa. So it took me some time. I had to unwire that. I was like, okay, so, all right. If the universe gives me what I focus my mind on, and all I'm focusing on is how stupid everybody is, I'm going to start focusing on something different. I'm going to start focusing on, I don't know, how awakened people are, and it took me some time, about a year. And then the stupid people started phasing their way out of my life because I stopped focusing on it. You know what I mean? It's pretty cool. Anyway, though, y'all, it is time for me to go ahead and get out of here. That 50 minutes, hour, whatever, just flew by. Greatly appreciate all of you that tuned in and played along. I don't know what I'm going to be doing on my main channel today. What is today? Today, Thursday? Thursday. Okay. So I might try to knock out the rest of these readings that I started yesterday, but don't hold me to it. I have no idea what today is going to bring. Anyway, again, thank you all for tuning in. I will see you later on my main channel. All right. Y'all enjoy the rest of your day.